It's opening bell on Friday the 24th. Let's get started for the Pulver Report. Risk disclaimer: we understand as risk in trading. Please always use trade capital only. Do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose, whether you're trading stocks, options, futures, forex, cryptos. You know the deal. If you're following me on social media, make sure it's me. YouTube.com/Chris Pulver. I'm here Mondays and Fridays. We did a bonus session this week for FOMC, made a few pips. Try to keep the handles consistent. Facebook.com, Real Chris Pulver. Instagram, Twitter, Real Chris Pulver. Okay, let's jump into the charts. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. 309.18, a little bit of indecision post FOMC on Wednesday. Let's take a look at the Fed Watch tool, see if anything changed from Wednesday. Looks like we have a pause expected for May right here. So the Fed raised rates 25 basis points. Current funds rate is 4.75 to 5%, and looking like May is going to be the same thing. Powell had some interesting comments. It was pretty much standard. Inflation's high, job market's tight, tightening credit conditions, given the bank situation with SVB, First Republic, Credit Suisse. There's a bunch of drama going on over there. But looks like potentially the tightening credit conditions might serve the same purpose as a potential rate hike cycle. So the Fed is potentially, again, this is CME Watch tool, the Fed Watch tool, looking to pause. And then what's interesting to me is as soon as June, the market's like, we think we're going to cut rates. And I mean, I don't think Powell said that. In fact, I have a screenshot explicitly from him saying participants don't see rate cuts this year. And here the market's like, we think we're going to cut rates. And again, we think you're going to cut rates. So anyway, we'll see, right? And that gets us into summer trading. And there's the added sell may go away. So very curious to see how the market finishes for next week, right? Next week is the end of Q1. I'm trying to think. I will be traveling from Sunday to Wednesday. I'll still have some live sessions in case if I'm not able to, I'll do some videos. But I should be live on Monday for opening bell. But anyway, I'm just saying it's end of the quarter. And April, May typically are pretty bullish months historically. Tech has been rallying pretty hard compared to the SPY. Here is where we are at so far for the year. I think from the yearly pivot to equal lows was down about 30+% for the year. This is last year, so 2022, the Qs were down about 20+%. From that point forward, the start of the year, they have rallied up as high as 21%. We're currently sitting around 18.6%. That compared to the S&P, which is around 2%. So tech is certainly outperforming. The S&P is struggling a little bit. The DIA is pretty flat and pretty quiet as well. So index-wise, not a lot going on. I do have a 305 bull put spread on the DIA. I have going into Monday, I have a 322 bear call spread and a 297 and 296 bull put spread on the Qs. Those are Monday expirations. Also today, I think I'm keeping track on Coinbase. We had a huge gap on Coinbase with potential SEC probe, and I think Coinbase is going to lawyer up, and I think they'll be okay as a bigger custodian. But I pushed this out to April. I also have a full profit coming on today at end of day with a price staying below $100. So a couple good profits rolling in. We took some early assignments on some stocks this week. LUV, Southwest Airlines, and Rivian had a couple of early assignments. Credit Suisse, just dumped that for a small loss for like 25 cents. Not ready to take ownership yet, but I am liking these levels. We get filled on a couple of trades for the 3250 by 30 on LUV. We're staggered out here looking at some of these cyclicals. I saw the Delta went back down to $30 or $32. So I'm interested in a lot of these stocks that are sitting near 2020 lows or 2008 lows. Southwest Airlines happened to be one of them. I know that they were dealing with some crap during winter cancellations, and there was some mix-up with their airline in particular. They had some bad PR. But price-wise, I like this ownership area down here towards $24, $25. So there's a lot of good stuff going on. Still making some good returns, still grinding like crazy. Volatility index is off the lows. Let's go to the daily time frame here. Off the lows by a decent amount. I'm looking at some shares to close out for some profit. 1094, I've got a $12 limit. I've got a break even around $10 on the VIXI. So if we get to $12, I'll take a couple dollars a share and get rid of that. Also, I'm looking for a stock like KHC, which is trading at 37. Got this one covered for next week. Uber, I have this one covered at 31. I might be able to lower my cost basis one more time or a couple more times and maybe doing it in the money. Covered call, my break even on Uber is like $27 and change. So anyway, lots going on there. Currency-wise, currency strength, we have some risk-off flows today. JPY really strong actually. Wow, that's impressive. And pretty much it was JPY strength versus everything. The dollar got stronger a little bit later in the day. The Swiss is up here as well. Let me take a look and see how everything is faring. And let me get logged in here. I have not checked in to see how everyone's doing. Hopefully, we got about 1,000 people watching, or the usual couple hundred. But nice to see everybody this Friday. Nice to be with everybody. Skip the ads. And let's say hi. David, first in the house. What's up, man? Donna, good morning. Gail, good morning. Ranju, good morning. Jan, good morning. Gail, where's everyone from? Gail in Chicago. What's going on in Chicago? You guys getting a storm or anything? We had a pretty nasty storm here in the Salt Lake City area. Fortunately, I was not in it yesterday as I was driving all over the place. Dennis, good morning. Catherine, good morning. Greg, good morning. All right. Cool. All right, let's take a look at some currency stuff. DXY, dollar index. We were looking for the dollar index to give us a little bit of a push. So this low, this high, looks like we have a nice little morning star popping up here that could be a potential higher low forming. So if we have low to higher low, some risk off flows, and this is what I keep talking about. This area, I'm long the dollar for this area. Okay, it's interesting to see how the Fed is changing the stance, but we are expecting tighter credit conditions. We're expecting widening credit spreads, which is not a good thing. So there's a bit of a gap in liquidity. If we have risk-off flow, that should be stronger dollar. Now, it might be, in addition to stronger dollar, might be similar to what we see today in the currency strength chart, which is stronger yen and stronger Swiss, because those are also safe haven flows. Okay. But against commodity-based pairs, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar could do pretty well. CAD dollar, I guess dollar CAD. But anyway, we're going to see what happens. I'm still long the dollar for the most part and looking for this area to come back and rebalance. We've got a nice pivot area. So the yearly pivot's already been hit, but monthly and big pocket here around that 50% pullback zone. So around 108, 109, any profit protection there and any basket trading, I'm getting out of my dollar longs. Oil, gold, silver. Oil is at 68.26. Oil's having a heck of a time. If we have a slowdown economically, we're going to see that lack of demand put a lot of pressure on oil. So, I still think there's a lot of support between the $65 and $60 area. I have a couple bearish positions on XOM. I have a 113 by 117 that expires next week. That's looking pretty good. I got out of this trade. Thankfully, this week I was in a 105 by 101, and I got out when we had the highs here on 107. So I ended up taking like a net 70, it was like 75 cents credit on that one, which I was pretty happy with, considering I rolled it by 1 week and walked away net profitable. Managed it a little bit early, but certainly glad that I did. Now looking to stay bearish on it for right now. Same thing with Chevron, CVX. Chevron's already well off these highs. I might look at something like this for next week, maybe like a 168 or 172, somewhere in that area, kind of out of the money. I think that we're pretty safe to stay, somewhat bearish or keep some of these credit spreads out of the way. So I'll talk about that today in Equities on Demand. Some trades this week. Let me see what we had this week. I know we took trades on Norwegian Cruise Lines. We did some trades on Tesla. Tesla, I've got a couple levels that I need to watch carefully for next week. If we stay above 190, or we get below 175. We're trading at 189 right now. So there's a bit of a gap fill. What I might look at today on Tesla is maybe rolling one of these. So we have the 190 by 187.50. We have the 175 by 177.50. I might look at rolling the top one since that's going to be more credit. So I might be able to roll that out by a couple of weeks. Let the bottom one run as is. If price comes down into that 170 to 177.50 area or 175 area, then I could possibly roll that as well. These are out to 3/31 expirations, which is next Friday. So I might look at those today, maybe pull in some extra credit before the weekend decay, and then buy me some more time. Maybe I can get a couple more weeks. All I'm really looking at is if price is above 190, it's full profit. If price is below 175, it's full profit, right? But I need to make sure I have some time to let price get to where it needs to go, which is above or below those levels. Okay, morning, Ed. How are you? Morning, Bob. Good morning, Jacob. Morning, Catherine. It's the big storm in Milwaukee area. Oh, yeah. Storms are no good. I'm just ready for winter to be done. I'm going to Arizona Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Um, get to see some sun, hopefully 70 plus degrees. Maybe sneak in some evening golf. But man, I don't know. I'm ready for snow to be done. It's lingering out here in Utah by a lot. Like I mean, it's almost the end of March, and I've had 200 inches of snow, if not more. So it's about ready to be done in my opinion. Hopefully, but I think it lingers until like April or May out here. Okay, oil, gold, silver. We did oil, sitting around 68. Gold and silver. So dollar showing some strength, as is gold. If you're long on gold, that's great. I get it. Make sure you're aware of the big resistance levels up here around 2050 to 2070. We're trading at 1998 right now. Yeah, if we hit 2050 to 2075, I'm not saying that I'm bearish necessarily on gold, but I'd say I'd be looking to protect some profits, or at least put in some protective levels, because if this thing drops and drops hard, I want to make sure that every gain that I have on gold is locked in. Silver, I'm long. Silver's looking great. We're trading at 23. Hopefully, silver can outperform. Technically, if silver gets up to 29, the way I'm trading silver's SLV, we're trading at 21. I haven't covered this in a while, but I think if I am covered, it's like 2250 or higher. Ideally, I'd like to hang on to my shares until we hit, 25 or 26. So if we hit this level, yeah, I'm looking at some gains on silver overall. So I'm going to keep that one running. Hopefully, it will continue to perform well. Bitcoin is pausing around this 27.72. It's 27,000 roughly. Major resistance at 30K. We also have a couple of pivots here for some inefficiencies, so it wouldn't surprise me if if we stay somewhat drifty. I guess that's a word I look for. Drifty, look for that 30K resistance, and then we break back down. I would just look for this, pretty strong resistance back here, pretty strong resistance back here. That's around 25,000. So if we reject off a 30K, come back to 25, we could consolidate here if the bulls want to maintain some control. But I think if we can, make a huge break above 30, that's really encouraging. Otherwise, we hit 30, we drop to 25. If we break below 25, we probably come all the way back down to 20. And we might have a big range from 30K to 20K. So we could be ready for some range trading. This could just be a big low and a big high. And we might be range trading Bitcoin for a while. Okay. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Just like I said, be aware of that $30,000 level. Ethereum still has some room to run to the upside. Yearly pivots up a little bit higher at 1990, just shy of 2000. And then our big support level is back here around 2150. So watching Ethereum. Ethereum has a little bit of room to outperform Bitcoin in the near term if we're going to find this pivot and pass support. All right, taking a look at some currencies. Aussie CAD still like long. New Zealand CAD still like long. Still doing well on both of those. Aussie New Zealand, if we compare the two together, I'm looking for a trade opportunity on Aussie New Zealand. We just don't have a good level yet. I think it's kind of favoring the slide to the downside. It's a little bit more to the downside right now. It's just the slow, kind of the slow syrupy death of just drifting lower with the OCR favoring the New Zealand dollar. So if the Aussie New Zealand comes back down to 105, I might look at just starting to position myself long with some trendline confirmation. Start buying if it goes lower, and just start positioning off of that parity mark. Trade it back into this 107 to 108 handle. Lots of pivots up here as well. So if it offers a trade, I like Aussie New Zealand. It's a great technical trade. Let's see, S&P Services PMI 53. Any news today? 9:45. I don't know why that's lagging. Do we have 9:30 news this morning? Today, core retail sales for the CAD. Oh, it was 9:45. Okay, so it's right now. PMI numbers coming in hot. So that is purchasing managers index. Let's see. Industry expansion above 50. Below is contraction. So flash manufacturing to service PMI. So services above 50, manufacturing below 50. All right. I mean, what does that mean? I don't know. Wait and see. Does that have anything to do with inflation? Maybe. Inflation's still high. All right. Anything else? Aussie dollar pushing a little bit lower. Look at those yen crosses. I've said short term on the yen, staying bearish. CAD yen, CAD yen 94.59. Watch this there's a really strong support zone here around 93. 93, if I just put a window in here, I would look for confirmation, but if we have 93 to 90, there's a yearly pivot down here as well. This is a high, low, lower high, lower low. Because this is a pretty shallow pullback, if we have a chance to, trade a bottoming pattern, this thing rips back up to the upside towards parity at 100, that could be a pretty good short-term trade between 93 and 90. But I want to see confirmation with my bullish alignments. So that would require some master flex alignments. Look for some past resistance between this 93 handle and 91.50. So I'll be watching in that zone. That's why I have a couple chart alarms set down there. Swiss yen, pretty sideways, but overall, I'm still bearish on the Swiss yen. I'm not in a position. The profits that I took were right back here, but I'm waiting to see if we get a chance to sell it at the top again. It's a super choppy currency. It doesn't offer really any positive yield if I'm bearish on it because it's Swiss keeps raising rates and the JPY does not. So this Bank of Japan hasn't raised rates since like, I don't know, 2011, 12. That was when they cut all the way down to like negative 0.1. Swiss National Bank's been raising rates. They're at 1.5% as of this week. They had a rate decision on Thursday. Euro Aussie 61.94, still hesitating. Stay with alignments on this one. If it turns bearish below 1.60, I'll short it. Otherwise, I'm staying bullish. Euro CAD hanging tough. Ooh, JetBlue's at lows. That's annoying. A little pullback on Euro Swiss. Euro Pound, no trade. Euro Yen pushing bearish. This is a potential, let me put a line here, potential head and shoulders right there. So potential head and shoulders where low, low, left shoulder, head to neckline, right shoulder. If we get down to that neckline, it gets a little noisy, but if we break and go lower, guess what? We're probably looking at this all the way down to 128 or 126. So Euro Yen has a lot of room to the downside if we make that head and shoulders pattern come to fruition. So there could be some good trading on those JPY pairs in the coming months. Euro New Zealand, potential resistance here at 75, but make sure you're looking for bearish alignments to confirm that. Otherwise, it's been bullish since our breakout here at 1.68. Euro dollar, really big pullback. It's kind of stuck. I said if it's above 108, I'm bullish. We had a nice bullish breakout all the way up towards 109, and then there was a rejection post FOMC on Wednesday, and then Thursday to Friday we've dropped. So I would honestly favor the euro dollar softer and weaker, simply just looking at the dollar index and just kind of favoring, if we go to a low volatility environment, favoring some positive swap by staying with the dollar. Pound Aussie, still pushing up. There's room to the upside. We're sitting at 8,400 right now. There's room up to 90. I said 1.90 to 1.92, but looking for this. Past resistance becoming support. So we might have a little push, have a little pullback, little push, little pullback. Let's see how this behaves. But there's room all the way up here towards 9,000 and 91.50. So I like that pound Aussie long as those alignments stay true and bullish. Pound Canadian 68.25, same thing. If we hold this level, look for confirmation to sell it. Otherwise, if we do not, right, if we don't hold these highs and we just break and go higher, then stay with your alignments. There is a big inefficiency, plus we have a pivot right here. But the good thing is if we go up a little bit higher and we hit this resistance or we hit this resistance, then we can look for bearish confirmation to short it, take it all the way back down to these lows and find that yearly pivot. So we might have a big high to look for around 1.72 to 1.74 later this year, unless we hold this high currently around 168. So I'm going to keep close eyes on that pound CAD. Pound Swiss, I'm still long. That's really choppy, but I'm still long. If we can get a daily break above, this 200 EMA around 1400, I like that trade long. Pound yen, I just want it to set up for us. I want it to pull back to 168 or 170 to short it. Otherwise, it's very short term and pretty volatile. Pound New Zealand, we had some recent breakouts. Pound Aussie, Pound New Zealand, both look good to the upside. I think there's room up to 2.0 and 2.02 to stay bullish on Pound New Zealand. Pound dollar, we did not hit 24.40. I'm still looking at that as a potential sell trade. If we hit this resistance, I'm looking to sell that pound dollar. If we come back to 1880 to 1850, I'm looking to buy that. It's just a range trade at this time for pound dollar. Eventually it breaks, but trade the range, trade the structure at this time. New Zealand CAD, I'm long. New Zealand Swiss, patiently long. This might not, if this is a head and shoulders that still holds, this is like one of the weirdest looking head and shoulders because it's getting super, super deep. So if it is, it's still valid. Otherwise, it comes back down. We might have something like this. Maybe it's maybe it's an equal low and it starts to consolidate this way, right? That could very much be a pattern for a bigger bullish move later as we carve out some lows. But for right now, I'm just going to hold long. New Zealand yen. So we dropped pretty nicely into this support. But what I was telling traders this week in the flex room is this is great support, okay? But do not guess. I said between 81 and 80, look for support. But if we don't have bullish confirmation, do not touch this trade. Because if this is equal tops and we're going to break below these lows, there's room to measure this all the way back down here. So we have to see bullish confirmation for us to get long on that New Zealand yen. Otherwise, if we have risk-off flows for the next couple of months, your pre-summer push might favor risk-off trading. And this thing drops from, this is an 87 to 81. That's 600 pips. You can measure that 600 pips right there. Okay. That's New Zealand yen. New Zealand dollar. We keep rejecting off this 6,300 handle. So I am bullish above 6,300, going back to 65. Otherwise, if we break this trend line, there is room for this to continue to drop and pull back into some of these pivot levels from last year. This could also be equal highs. We could be high, low, lower low, and pushing in this area. I don't know if we're coming all the way back to retest this level or not, but it could be high, lower low. Find this structure in here, still stuck between this low and high, and then we just have a channel. We have a range or something like that. But bulls need to break above 63. If we don't, I can't be bullish. So no trade yet, but a little bit more confirmation. We should get something on the Kiwi coming next week or so. Dollar CAD pushing up pretty nicely. I'm interested in selling dollar CAD between 39 and 40. 1.39, 1.40, looking to sell it. So want to see some confirmation, obviously, like we had here, nice rejection. If we come up here, hit divergent highs, I'd be looking to sell that back down. I think that looks pretty good, and that could also coincide with a nice little bottom in oil if we see some strong support at 65. Dollar Swiss, holding long. Not going to change my my tune on that one. Dollar yen. I was hoping we'd have a pullback towards this 139, 140 area. We still might. This type of move could still happen. We could set up a little channel correction before we get a bigger sell trade. Or we might just come back down here to equal lows and then pull back to equal highs, and then we sell it again. So I'm still bearish overall, in the medium term on dollar yen. I just like to see a better setup. If we pull back to equal highs or slightly higher highs, either a channel resistance or a kind of 1, 2, 3 pattern to sell at equal highs or slightly higher. Dollar peso, anything here? Choppy. Dollar krone, equal highs, but I'd still like to sell it higher if I can. Like this is dollar krone way up here. Some of these exotic crosses. 33.28 on dollar sing. It is nice little bullish candle for today. We'll see if this holds and maintains a higher low. This low, this high, this higher low. If I measure this and push to symmetry, that should get us right back towards this yearly pivot cluster right in here. So I like that kind of 3750 to 3800 zone for some profit on dollar sing. That's the midpoint of this channel. Okay. Let's take a look at some of these crazy yields. The 1-year yield. The 1-year yield is at 4.22. The 2-year yield is at 3.70. The 2-year yield, by the way, as far as basis points movement from this high to low in the same time period, about 30% difference, and the basis points move. This is one of the biggest basis points move we've seen since 1987. Which was during the same window that we had the Black Monday crash in October. I think it was like October 17th or October 18th in 1987 was the big Black Monday. So again, I don't know if that's an ominous sign. I don't know if that's the bond market trying to tell us something. But if I go to the SHI, which is a 1 to 3 year Treasury bond, we're still pushing higher. So we've had a nice little run this week. We are long in equities on demand on SHY. And we were trying to get long on IEF. We just didn't have the entry. I was looking for double bottoms here around 93. And TLT is your 20-year. And this could be a really nice cup and handle. So, I mean, we're on the verge of the bond market giving us some pretty nice bullishness. If the bond market is going up, then the bond yields are going down. Now, bond market up, bond yields down, that's going to change quite a bit, right? Obviously, yields are going to go down. Bond prices go up. I'm sure that'll be a welcome thing for a lot of bond holders out there. But just tons of volatility. We talked about this week in classes. So A lot of stuff going on. What's going on with all you traders out there? How we do this week? So far, so good. I checked this on my flex room. A couple of robots doing pretty well. I think I cleared. We did some scalping on Wednesday for FOMC. Looks like my Pockets Pattern Pro picked up a few more profits this week, so I'm at 677. Let me add this up. So Pockets Pattern Pro, a nice little efficiency robot, so 677 for the week. And Perfect Storm. Perfect Storm picked up 322 pips, or 332, so plus 332. And then my Perfect Storm Pro. Perfect Storm Pro. Killed it at 806 this week. Very nice. 806. So 1815 with automation, 107 with some scalping. I'd say that's a pretty good week with some pips. 1922 for the week. Pretty happy with that. How do we do this week? Hopefully did well. I know the traders that were with me on Wednesday for FOMC grabbed some pips. Jake grabbed like 90 pips. We had Ann grab like 126 pips or 125 pips. Traders in the trading room grabbed some pips this week. Overall, pretty good. Pretty good. We're holding a lot of positions in the flex room. We've got a lot of stuff running with lots of expirations coming up in. It's not really a heavy April for us, but we have some May, June, August expirations. I'm looking at some short-term income plays over the next couple of weeks. So good stuff, Frank. Brad, yes. Okay. So that's about it. That's all I have for Friday. Monday, I'll be back. I should be able to do a live session. I'll just be in a little warmer state. So I'm heading down to Arizona Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Nothing should change schedule-wise. The only thing I might not be teaching is my Wealth and Freedom, but I should still be live for our trading rooms next week. And worst case scenarios, I'll do a video update and post it in Telegram and share it through the online university. But I think we're going to be good. So I'll be here for YouTube on Monday morning for opening bell. I think that's it. Okay, if you do me a favor, for everyone watching, just hit the thumbs up button for me. Let's get those likes to match the watchers. That's always good. Helps the YouTube channel, helps to get it out there. Hopefully more people coming in, and feel free to spread the word as well. Hopefully it's good information just to get a little weekly recap, opening bell, all that good stuff. Talk about a little bit of everything asset class wise. Obviously there's a lot going on. I know I talk 100 miles an hour, but it's pretty much just a 20 to 30 minute recap of everything we talk about in the trading rooms. So when you're, trading with me, we get to spend a lot more time together. And then, Mondays and Fridays, just kind of a nice little creative outlet to see everybody, talk to everybody, and see what's going on. Okay, giddy up. All right, Catherine, yes, we'll have Master Flex Day at 1 o'clock. That is correct. Really excited about that class day at 1 o'clock because we're going to look at the prototype robot. Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to take a look at everything, how we can pick those filters and get it set up. And then I have that thing running live. So I'm just running on micro lots right now, just looking to make sure it takes some trades. I'm doing some testing in the background, so I'm kind of stretched at the moment. Like I've got my computer at my house running 24/7 all week, and I'm still doing a bunch of testing on Portfolio Backtester. Then I've got my laptop running at the office 24/7, doing some live trading. So obviously I know I can use a VPS, but I got VPSs running with like 3 of my robots. So I'm a little strapped for bandwidth right now. But the testing at some point hopefully wraps up. It's just super slow when I'm using TickDat. It takes forever. It's probably because I'm running it through an external hard drive, which is probably the reason it's so slow. But anywho, all good. Okay, I'm gonna go. Equities on demand students. Let's switch over to the trading rooms. Thanks for being with me today for a little Friday recap for the Pulver report, and I'll see you on Monday. Okay, everybody. Master Flex at 1 o'clock. Equities on demand. I'll see you in the trading room here in a minute. And have a great weekend, everybody. See you soon. Bye. Thanks.